Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? It's your boy Chris. It's your boy Chris. It's another amazing episode of Financipation. This channel is all about making money. It's all about saving money. It's all about building generational wealth, and it's all about financially emancipating yourself from generational poverty. On this channel, everybody, I try to give you a six-figure MBA level worth of investing and financial knowledge for free here on YouTube. And the things that people typically spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to learn in business school, I give it to you for free here on Financipation. Before I get started, I also want to give a shout out to one of my sponsors, Kilica Solutions. They are the ones that design all these dope graphics that you see. They're the ones who do my digital marketing, my website development, all this stuff. So if you are looking for a company that specializes in website development, as well as doing digital marketing and editing your YouTube videos, you will not find a better company than Kilica Solutions. Also, before I get started, please hit that notification bell. Please like, please comment, please subscribe so that you know when I give you new content, okay? So everybody, as a financial coach who teaches budgeting, investing, and how to essentially build generational wealth, I've seen literally the entire gamut of socioeconomic statuses and people that make money who are poor. I've consulted with lawyers, with doctors, with medical professionals, with engineers that all make well over $500,000 a year, who live paycheck to paycheck, that are dead broke, and who are going to retire homeless unless they change their lifestyle. Whereas I've met teachers in Miami that make literally $45,000 to $50,000 a year, and they're going to retire millionaires because of their lifestyle and the choices that they make. I'm saying that people to say this: it does not matter how much money you make. If you do stupid things with your money or whatever, and you're not investing the amount of money that you make, and you're spending more money than you actually make, you are going to die broke. Rich, everybody, is temporary. Being wealthy lasts a lifetime. Being broke is temporary. But being poor is permanent, and it lasts a lifetime. So everyone, if you are broke and you exhibit most of the signs that I'm going to talk about in this particular podcast, guess what? You literally have the rest of your life to change your financial behavior. So that's what we're going to talk about in this particular podcast, okay? 11 signs of broke people. Sign number one, the first sign of a broke person is that they live paycheck to paycheck. Everyone, as I said earlier, I'm a financial coach and I do a lot of one-on-one sessions with my clients. And one of the number one things that I notice about broke people is that they typically constantly spend more money than they make, and they basically live paycheck to paycheck. This is that person that makes $15,000 a month or whatever, but they spend $20,000 a month. This is that person that makes $25,000 a month, but they spend $30,000 a month. Or this is that person that the government gives them $500 a month and they spend $1,000 a month. Or they make $70,000 a month, but they spend $100,000 a month. It sounds pretty straightforward, everybody, but I can't tell you how many medical professionals I met up with in Miami who literally make $500,000 a year, but every weekend they're making it rain at the club. Every weekend they're doing things they should not be doing. And as a result, they are going to die miserable and broke. It sounds very straightforward, but people spend less money than you make. Next, another surefire sign of a broke person is they have a lot of baby mamas, they have a bunch of ex-wives, or they're a woman who essentially has a bunch of kids with a bunch of different men that never married them. Everybody, there are a lot of YouTubers and YouTube channels out here that literally have built an entire platform on trashing and belittling women. And there are feminist type YouTube channels out here that have built their entire platforms on belittling and trashing men. My channel, everybody, is not that, nor will it ever be. I'll let other people play in that world. What I have, however, discovered is this: 90% of a man or a woman's financial, professional, or emotional success literally boils down to who they're having sex with and who they ultimately marry and have children with. Fellas, the divorce laws in the Western world are not in your favor. And unfortunately, if you marry or impregnate the wrong woman, 40 to 60% of your income is immediately going to be gone overnight in alimony and child support. Ladies, study after study shows that the poorest demographic in America is the single mother. Study after study show that in 2021, 32% of all single mothers were below the poverty line, whereas only 5% of married mothers were below the poverty line. And I can also tell you, ladies, that as a higher caliber, upperly mobile man who got married in my mid-30s, most men of my pedigree, we flat out will not even consider marrying a baby mama or a single mother, because we know for a fact we can easily pull a woman who does not come with kids. So despite, and I'm not trying to be cruel when I say that, but despite what these modern day new age agendas are trying to tell you, ladies and men, study after study shows that married women on average have 40 times more wealth than single mothers. And also, a 2022 study conducted by the Institute for Family Studies concludes that married women over and under 35 tend to be happier than women over and under 35 who are not married. And fellas, for what it's worth, those same studies also show that married men typically live 15 to 20% longer than unmarried men. So, because this is a finance channel, let's talk more finance when it comes to marriage and everything. Married couples on average have 35 times more wealth than single people, and children born into a two-parent household are 4 times more likely to move from poverty into the middle class, whereas children who are born into a single-parent household, particularly a baby mama household, are 4 times more likely to move from the middle class into poverty. Once again, everybody, it may sound cruel, but one surefire sign of a broke man is that they have a bunch of baby mamas, a bunch of ex-wives, and they are forced to pay a lot of their hard-earned money in alimony and child support. Fellas, do not get into that game. I got so many friends and family members who are doing it, and I'm seeing how it's killing them both professionally and financially. And also, ladies, one surefire sign of a broke woman is that they have a bunch of baby daddies and children with men that never married them. I have lived in 4 murder capitals, and I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that generally speaking, when I go to the hood, when I go to the projects, when I go to the trailer parks or whatever, most of the women that I see in those environments are essentially baby mamas and single mothers. Ladies, don't play that game. Fellas, do not get involved with that game. Next, another surefire sign of a broke person is they always are seeking instant gratification, and they can't wait for anything. Whether it's a woman, whether it's that newest iPhone, you got to have it the second it comes out. Whether you got to have that newest 90-inch plasma flat screen television as soon as it come out. Whether you got to buy a new pair of Jordans, a new pair of cowboy boots, that new Ford F-150 pickup truck, whatever it is. When I do my one-on-one consultations with people, one of the first things I notice about broke people is that they have absolutely no concept of delayed gratification. They essentially buy everything as soon as it comes out, and usually they put it on credit cards. Basically, this is the individual that if they want something, they immediately purchase it regardless of whether they can afford it or not. Everybody, this is financial. And if you are serious about building your financial emancipation and building generational wealth, if you are the type of person who are constantly buying things when you can't afford it, you are going to probably die broke and you are never going to be financially wealthy. And one surefire sign of a broke person is that they have absolutely no concept of saving their money, and they are constantly buying things that they want that they don't need when they cannot even afford it. Next, another surefire sign of a broke person is they have high consumer and high credit card debt. This kind of piggybacks off of what I just got done saying earlier, okay? Usually when a person wants something that they can't afford, they put it on their credit cards and they buy it. So one of my bank accounts is with Wells Fargo, and they currently, as of at the time of this recording in 2023, they give me an annual percentage yield of 0.01%. People, that means if I put $1,000 into my account today, if I come back 10 years from now, I'm going to have $1 in that account. Conversely, my credit card has an APY of 22%. That means if I have $1,000 in that credit card and I refuse to pay it and I wait 10 years later, when I come back, my credit card balance is going to be $7,500. People, think about that for a minute, okay? They pay you $1 over 10 years to use their bank, but they'll turn around and charge you $6,500 to use their credit card if you don't pay it. Everybody, that is the reason it is almost impossible to get out of to build generational wealth if you have a bunch of credit card debt. And for the record, because this is a financial channel, people, think about it like this. Outside of artwork, I cannot find literally a single investment that pays you 22% over a 10-year period. That is literally almost impossible to find. But these same credit card scam marks will sit around and turn around and charge you 22% for using one of their cards. I'm not a firm believer in everything this gentleman says, but one reason why a Dave Ramsey says you should not use credit cards, and for the record, full disclosure, I think you should use credit cards because at the end of the day, if you pay it off every month, you have an 800 credit score, it opens up a world of possibilities. But one reason why Dave Ramsey says you should not use credit cards is because he truly believes that because the average American does not pay them off, it is literally sucking you dry when it comes to building generational wealth. And to some extent, I agree with that because the average American has a credit card debt of roughly $8,000 every month. And that credit card, the average annual percentage yield on your credit card is 22%. So if you want to stay broke and never have money, basically buy a bunch of crap that you don't need, then put it on credit cards and never pay it off. And a surefire sign of a broke person, everyone, is that they have high consumer and credit card debt and they never pay it off. Next, another surefire sign of a broke person is that they don't have health care. Everybody, full disclosure, I am a certified personal trainer, and I got offers to actually play a sport professionally. I am a firm believer that your body is a temple. It's a tremendous asset and arguably your greatest asset on your road to building generational wealth and to financially emancipating yourself from poverty. Everybody, it's as simple as this. Health is wealth. Very few CEOs and highly successful entrepreneurs are sloppy, fat, obese people, period. I don't care what industry it's in. Take a look at Tony Robbins. Take a look at Robert Smith, the richest black man in America right now. Take a look at Rich Paul. Take a look at Elon Musk. Take a look at Mark Zuckerberg. Take a look at the late, great Reginald Lewis. None of these great entrepreneurs were fat or obese, period. And there is a direct correlation between how healthy a person is and how much money they make. Canceling your health insurance, everybody, or selecting cheap healthcare so that you can save a few dollars is a very dumb thing to do in the long run, period. For instance, putting off going to the dentist to repair a $250 cavity will directly lead you to paying $1,600 to pay for a root canal or whatever. Putting off that nagging injury you're feeling in your stomach because you don't want to pay the $200 to go to the emergency room may directly lead you to paying $250,000 to get chemotherapy and radiation treatment when you find that you have stomach cancer. Everybody, I said it earlier, health is wealth, people, and it is very dumb to not make the investment of having a good healthcare plan or working for a company like the federal government, the U.S. military, or somebody who provides you with good healthcare. So everybody, another surefire sign of a broke person is that they do not prioritize their health and they don't take the necessary steps to have proper healthcare. Next, another surefire sign of a broke person is that they don't have any retirement accounts at all. Everybody, it's like this. Broke people rarely, if ever, have a Roth IRA, a 401k, an HSA, an SEP IRA, or a traditional IRA. They just don't. In fact, if I actually throw out words like individual retirement accounts, health savings accounts, or the employer-sponsored match for a 401k, typically broke people look at me like I'm speaking Swahili or Tagalog or another language entirely. Everybody, the good thing is that if you have no idea what a Roth IRA is, or what a SEP IRA is, or what a health savings account is, you are in the right place, as I have videos on literally all those concepts about that stuff here on Financipation. So you picked the right channel and the right podcast to listen to. According, everybody, to a 2019 study that was done by the Motley Fool, 69% of Americans today have less than $1,000 in the bank. In other words, everybody, unless the federal government steps in, or a person's family or the kids say, Mama or Papa, you can come live with me, or Granny, you can come live with me, or whatever, that means 7 out of the 10 people that you personally know are most likely going to be homeless less than 2 months after they retire. I want you to think about that for a minute. My idea, everybody, of retiring with dignity and respect is having over $4 or $5 million in your retirement account and in your retirement portfolios. Your kids essentially starting their own successful careers, and you and your partner, you and your wife, you and your husband essentially traveling the world every month, going to a different country. That's my personal idea of retiring with dignity and respect. That's what I'm setting up for me and my wife. Another surefire sign, people, of broke folks, though, is that that's not the way that their lives are going to end, unfortunately. And it's absolutely sad to me because a surefire sign of a broke person, they have absolutely no idea what retirement from 65 to 85 is going to look like. And they sadly have almost nothing saved in their 401ks, their Roth IRAs, their HSAs, or their retirement accounts. And they're going to essentially have to rely on their family or the government to take care of them, or they're going to be flat out homeless. Everybody, don't put yourself in that game, okay? Before I go any further, everybody, please hit that notification bell. Please like, please comment, please subscribe. Please hit the like button so it helps the algorithm. That way you know when I'm giving you new content. And that way I can continue to give you powerful, free content, okay? Next, another surefire sign of a broke person is that they have absolutely no investment portfolios to speak of. So I'm on record saying that African Americans and Black Americans are flat out not poor. I'll be dropping a separate podcast soon about this because I'm seeing a lot of YouTubers push this narrative that the Black community is poor. But as it turns out, these people apparently don't do enough research because there's nothing poor about the community that looks like me. As it currently stands, African Americans have a spending power in the United States of America of over 1.6 trillion with the T dollars. In America today, In 2023, there are over 42,000 black men that are lawyers. There are over 26,000 black men that are doctors. There are over 80,000 black men that are scientists. There are over 130,000 black men, including yours truly, that are engineers. And for what it's worth, there's also about 1,100 black men in the NBA and the NFL. As I stated earlier, Black Americans are not poor. The problem is, like many communities in this country, we were never properly taught how to invest the money that we make, which is one reason why I got my MBA and why I started Financipation to begin with. If I mention words like Charles Schwab, Vanguard, Fidelity, index funds, mutual funds to the average American, they usually give me that blank stare. Once again, it's like I'm speaking Swahili or Tagalog to them. And not investing your money and not having an investment account or a brokerage fund is a cardinal sin when it comes to building generational wealth. And to keep it completely honest, everybody, to keep it a buck, there is a targeted reason why they do not teach financial literacy in public schools across America. Our entire U.S. economy, everybody, is built on consumer debt, people putting their crap on credit cards and spending and buying things that they cannot afford. And there's a reason that absolute garbage like cash advance loan facilities and payday loan advancement businesses are constantly put in the hood and in the trailer parks. And they're constantly put in dirt poor rural communities. Because it's simple, everybody. Any community that does not properly invest their money that they make will become broke in 1 generation or less. Also, I like to always give this analogy and this example when it comes to the power of compound interest and the power of investing as early as possible. Let's say the day you turned 18, you put $250 into an account that gives you a 10% interest rate. 47 years later, or the day you turn 65, you would have roughly $2.8 million waiting in your retirement accounts when you're ready to retire at 65. That, everybody, is the power of compound interest. $250 investing into an account that gives you 10% and investing it $250 every month for 47 years, you're walking away with almost $3 million. A surefire sign, everybody, of a broke person is that they do not have a brokerage account, they have no investment portfolio, and they don't invest the money that they make. Next, another surefire sign of a broke person is that they don't have any financial goals to speak of. They have no goals on when they're going to graduate from college or if they're going to go to graduate from college. They have no goals on when they're going to finish a trade school or when they're going to learn a trade, when they're going to become that plumber, that carpenter, that electrician. They have no goals on how they're going to maximize the time that they're in the military or whether they're going to join the military at all. They essentially, people don't have any goals on how much money they're going to have in their bank when they turn 30, when they turn 40, when they turn 50, or when they turn 60. They essentially have no idea what amount of money they should have in the bank when they retire at 65 or 70 because they have never had any retirement plans to speak of. And one of the saddest things I meet when I talk to a lot of strong independent people or whatever is when we talk and they start telling me things like, well, when I retire, I'm just going to live with my kids, or when I turn 60 and hopefully I have $100,000 in the bank. What I tell them is, if you have $100,000 in the bank at 60, you're essentially most likely going to be homeless in 3 or 4 years. A surefire sign, everybody, of a broke person is that they don't have any financial goals to speak of. And when it boils down to it, if you aim at nothing, you are going to hit it literally every single time. Another surefire sign of a broke person is that they constantly complain and talk about money or the lack thereof. And the reason is simple, because they don't have any money. Given my profession, everybody, in some of these circles that I roll in, both as a mechanical engineer and as a financial coach, some of the circles I find myself in is really interesting to seeing how wealthy people talk about money versus when I'm in the hood playing basketball or I'm talking to some of my boys or some of my older friends and relatives and things of that nature. It's like this, people. If I go to a country club, right, no one ever talks about how much the club fees cost. No one talks about the cost of their homes. No one talks about how much the children's private schools cost. It's really interesting that wealthy people don't look at money in that respect or whatever. And one sad thing I do notice, however, is that broke people, they constantly talk about how much things cost, and it's usually a sign that they don't have any money. Now, full disclosure, I am not saying you should not watch how much money you spend on certain items. And by my very nature, I am a very frugal person. Once again, I lived in 4 different murder capitals, so I know what poverty looks like. But what I am saying is this, people that have higher incomes and who spend less money than they make, they rarely talk about money unless they're talking about how much money that investment is going to cost them, or how much money it's going to cost them to start this business or whatever. They very rarely talk about money unless it's in the concept of how much money is this going to initially cost me, and more importantly, how much money is this business venture going to make me in the long haul. Whereas one surefire sign of a broke person is that they always complain and talk about money, and it's usually because they sadly do not have any. Next, Another surefire sign of a broke person is that they do not have an emergency fund. People, this is one of those cardinal sins and everything. And when you do a financial consultation with me, this is one of the first things that we kind of go over in regards to your budget. People who do not properly plan for their expenses have to rely on credit cards to make up for their emergencies when they happen. And emergencies are going to happen. It's as simple as that. This typically costs them, because they have to rely on credit cards when an emergency happens and they do not have an emergency fund, this typically costs them a lot more money in the long haul. Because once again, American Express credit cards, the average American credit card charges you 22% if you pay it late. So if you have to put a $15,000 boiler that blew or whatever on your credit card because you don't have any money in the bank and it takes you 9 months to pay that thing off, imagine how much money you're going to lose every month because of that. My advice, people, to all my clients is very simple. You need to create a budget to give you an idea about what your monthly bills are going to be. And then whatever that monthly expense is, multiply it by 3, multiply it by 6, and multiply it by 9. For example, let's say your monthly expenses are $5,000. That means your 3-month emergency fund needs to be $15,000. Let's say your monthly expenses are $5,000. That means your 6-month emergency fund needs to be $30,000. One surefire sign of a broke person is that they don't have an emergency fund and they have to rely on credit cards to cover all the emergencies and the expenses that pop up. And once again, everybody, expenses are going to pop up. Your wife is going to get pregnant. You're going to need a new alternator. Your AC is going to blow out. Things are going to happen. You're going to need to put down a down payment on a new home. Things are going to happen, so get ready for it. Next, one surefire sign of a broke person is that they don't read, they don't listen to podcasts, they don't self-educate themselves on literally anything. I say this analogy all the time, everybody, because I'm a big reader. I'm a big fan of audiobooks and I'm a big fan of reading physical books. And the average millionaire, everybody, reads 52 books a year. The average broke American reads 1 book per year. Do the math. As a mechanical engineer who has an MBA, I often brag that I could give you a 6-figure MBA level worth of education for free here on my YouTube channel, Financipation. And I'm flat out amazed at how many people I meet who don't take the time to educate themselves on anything. And people, we live in the information age. Right now, because of cell phones, you can literally learn almost anything and you can cross-examine the knowledge that you find on any website with about 4 or 5 of the sources to verify it's actually accurate. There are no secrets of the wealthy white people anymore, everybody. At the end of the day, all the secrets are in books. They're in podcasts like Financipation. So they're in books like Who Moved My Cheese, The Millionaire Next Door, Money Master the Game by Tony Robbins, The Richest Man in Babylon. People, you literally have an entire world of books that are out there or whatever. Go find them, go read them. And at the end of the day, one surefire sign of a broke person is that they do not self-educate themselves on anything. They don't read books, they don't listen to podcasts, and they essentially stay ignorant on everything. Once again, everybody, I said this a little early and I'm gonna say it again in closing. Being broke is temporary, but being poor lasts a lifetime. If you were showing any of the signs that I talked about on this list in regards to being broke, guess what, everybody? Here's the good news. You literally have the rest of your life to start doing something different, to not be broke, and to start building your generational wealth. And if you have no idea where to start, once again, people, I can help you with that. So in closing, everybody, this channel is all about making money. It's all about saving money. It's all about building generational wealth, and it's all about financially emancipating yourself from generational poverty. You can book a one-on-one session with me at any point. The link is going to be below. I'm not giving you, once again, financial advice, and you have to make your own responsible decisions based on the thorough independent research that you do for yourself. But thanks for listening, everybody, and check out my website at www.therealfinancipation.com. Please follow me on Instagram at @thereal_financipation. Please follow me on Spotify, Financipation, just like it's spelled back there in that sign. TikTok is called Financipation as well. And my Facebook tribe, my Facebook page is also called Financipation. And also, everybody, check out my digital blog, Financipation. In that, I go into a lot more detail about some of the things that I talk about from a financial coaching perspective. And it's $4.95 a month, and you're going to get phenomenal content through that. And lastly, everybody, check out some of my digital, my e-products below as well. Please hit that notification bell. Please like, please comment, please share, please subscribe. And thank you, everybody. It's your boy, Chris. I'm out. Peace. Peace.